I'm Brad.
I'm Meg.
And
welcome back to the Millennial Report.
We've got a fun segment today.
Yes, we do. I made the most of this weekend. So the weather here in New York has been awful. It's raining and dreary, and luckily it has cooled things down a little bit, but it's been one of those inside weekends. So I spent a lot of time exploring my kitchen. One of the things, I know that you're a big cook. Along my journey, I was trying to figure out, what to cook, and kind of that spark moment where I'm like, well, what should I kind of Googling dinner ideas, Googling cool dessert ideas or breakfast things. And so, what for you gets you going in the kitchen? Because this guy's an artist.
Instagram is where I get a lot of inspiration. So seeing what, Food and Wine is posting and the Food Network and Andrew Zimmern, we had a conversation with him. He was here on Facebook Live not too long ago.
Right.
Great to talk to him. He's eating a little bit, more bizarre foods than I am typically making in my kitchen, but it's always interesting to see what some of these actual food culinary experts are making and posting out there. So I use Instagram. I'm looking at that for inspiration. And speaking of Instagram, Facebook, of course, we can't talk Instagram without talking Facebook as the owner of Instagram. So they reported earnings last week. Great week of earnings. They got a solid boost. I mean, looking at some of their numbers, too. Mobile advertising revenue, approximately 84%, which was up from 76% in the same quarter of last year. So clear jump there. Perhaps some of it's mobile advertising that's within Instagram. Instagram to me is basically your next biggest search engine because I'm not going to go out of Instagram to search for something else.
Right. What we were talking about in terms of social sharing of beautiful food, right? That's totally one of your ways of finding inspiration.
Absolutely.
And you also talked about these aggregators. So does anyone really use their little recipe cards anymore, or that big book of recipes that I know my mom has and I know it's a great resource, but that's not what I'm going to use, right? I have it on my phone, and so a lot of us, we're very interested in using these aggregators. So much of my go-to smartphone behavior is to access this information aggregator. Honestly, there's tips on the internet that kind of, for me, almost have as much value as those little in-between-the-lines notes that, you see on a cookbook, right? You're getting them from thousands of people. You're getting perhaps the best advice you can get, on recipes and stuff like that. A lot of the successful food companies are recognizing that you and I decide what products we're going to buy in order to make the recipes we want to make using these aggregators. One of those is Kraft. So Kraft has iFood, which is, I think it's they were one of the first people to create one of these apps. And they're in version 4.3 now. So, they're improving. They're making this a very user-friendly experience.
Big time.
And another thing that they did that was smart was they integrated Kraft coupons. And
they have
coupons
a lot of coupons
and
out
products.
there.
Yeah, exactly. And they have such a wide variety of products. They've been integrating those into the app themselves. So you can kind of figure out which steals and deals you want to go after. And millennials, believe it or not, love coupons. Honestly, it's been very successful for them. Other brands are doing that too. Some of them are pairing up with big names that I think you'd be more familiar with, like Epicurious.
Yes.
And also food.com.
Certainly.
I always tend to go to food.com myself. And so what I'll see is I'll see a recipe and then I'll see coupons listed below it, for some of the ingredients, which I think that's great. And by the way, Kraft Heinz, they're delivering earnings after close on the 4th. So later this week.
Cooking up something good over there.
Yeah, and honestly, they've been having a good year so far. They delivered a positive earnings surprise of a positive 19.67% last quarter. A lot of what they're doing is they're reinvesting in branding, of course, and marketing, and that is a huge part of the business right now. Yeah. So obviously one of the ways they're doing that is through apps and putting forward the coupons like this. Yeah,
if I can chime in. You mentioned Kraft Heinz, so obviously Nasdaq listed, ticker symbol KHC. We got to give them a shout out, number one. Number two, it's the summer months too. So this is something where we look at where they're still selling a lot of their other products for the backyard barbecues, for those big pool parties that are going on. So I don't even think, and I don't want to speculate, but it's clearly a marketing and advertising opportunity for them to tap into.
Absolutely. I use ketchup all year long. Sometimes people ask me if I want any food with my ketchup, but summer is the time of ketchup on your hot dog, on your hamburger, pretty much everything. So absolutely. I think as a company, their advertising in these apps is a totally smart move. For us, I think searching the internet for this information goes kind of far beyond recipes. A lot of what we're doing is we're looking up the best way to chop an onion or soften butter quickly. So there's kind of these more info lines, right? And also, I know I'm scrolling through Facebook and I see those, and the BuzzFeed videos that do those fast recipes.
You got it.
And honest to God, it is so distracting during the day to not watch those recipes hit the end,
Yeah.
that I always get trapped into watching those. And also, though, it makes me hungry and
Yeah.
interested in trying those recipes myself.
Yeah. I find that my best friends are the ones that send me pictures of food. And they slide up in the DM in a good way on
Yeah, I was gonna
Instagram
say, I think
with
they do
like a
that 'cause
picture
they
of
love
pizza. I know, right? They know me. You know me so well.
That's what you do when you care about people. You send them pictures of food.
There you go. And the better ones send me videos of food.
Right.
How you can make it.
Yeah.
I've learned the majority of my cooking through YouTube. People never believe that.
Yeah.
The Google subsidiary YouTube is increasingly, and we talked with Andrew Zimmerman about this when he was here, how is he kind of manipulating and forcing his content into video structure as well to be able to speak better to a millennial audience.
Right.
And he openly addressed that it's something that he is doing. He's put a focus on it for that exact reason, because he still wants to resound within that generation too. Going on YouTube, trying to figure out how to cook something, looking at Andrew Zimmern and looking at, you know, Gordon Ramsay and the Bobby Flays of the world, it's only driving more traffic to YouTube, the largest search engine for video. It's very interesting, the relationship that millennials have using YouTube as a search engine to find out how to cook things and how to prepare things right. So for me, YouTube, and I think it's Google, the parent company is, or Alphabet, I'm sorry. Habits, got to break them. 774 and change today. So somewhere around there, and they had a great jump after earnings last week as well. I think we mentioned that earlier. But another great company that has a relationship with millennials that we're using on an ongoing basis to learn how to cook things. And tap into a field that we may not have all been trained on or given those recipes from, you know, grandmothers and great aunts and everything.
Absolutely. And I like, you know, being able to scroll while I'm sitting there, you know, with my iPad or my iPhone on the counter.
There you go.
You know, that's my go-to method of cooking these days.